Hey Flosstube, this is Cam back again with another weekly cross-stitching update. Today is the 14th of December 2020. This is video number 99, and the plan for today is to do all my stitching stuff first, and then I'll bring in Hopper and move you guys up, move the stand over, and because I don't really have an Air Force story today, so I was going to talk a little bit about Hopper and the bird training. So that'll be at the end of the video. So stitching, I have 3 pieces to show you that I worked on this week. The first was Kindred Spirits by Jody Bergsma. Again, I need to get this page done to complete my 2020 goals on it. I worked on it 3 days, I think, and I put in 1900 tent stitches. So pretty much it's all the color because I had the white in there. So any stitches that you can see besides these big chunks of white that are hard to see. So all this mane that's coming down is what I worked on. All that's what I put in. So that's 1900 stitches. I know I still have quite a ways to go to finish the page this month, but I'm trying to get the non-full coverage goals done first. And then I will go ahead and work away on this one. I have no worries that I'll get it done. So that's Kindred Spirits. And then the next piece I worked on, I kind of, once I got going on it, I kept going because when you're changing things about a pattern, you got to get in that mindset and figure out what you're doing. And you don't want to put it down while you're still working on that section, where you still have, throwing around different ideas, because I don't want to forget what I was considering. So, talking, of course, about the Templar Prophecy by Long Dog Samplers. And my 2020 goal was to get 3 pages done. And I had, last time you saw it, I had started on this, and I started a little bit on the town down here. So I had this bottom border, and I had the tree trunk up, the main part of the tree trunk done. And I have a page finish. So before I show it to you, I want you to focus on this section right here. You see how it's very dark, because this is, so there's 2 main sections that are stitched in the negative. So you're stitching the space around the motifs instead of stitching the motifs themselves. So yes, there's black work in the knight and the dragon, but besides that, they're not stitched. That's you're stitching around it, so that's the fabric color showing through. And again, down here, this big square motif is not stitched. You're stitching around it. And what I'm doing is I'm reversing it, which is a little fiddly, takes a little bit of working out, because you have to do something to change up the way that this is stitched, so you can still go from stitching the motifs to stitching these motifs instead. So I'll show you what I did. Over 3.5 days, I put in 2,500 full, this is a full cross, so full stitches, and I got the page done. So here's the entire thing so far. And I will fold it up and bring it in closer. So the first thing I did is I decided to use all 3 shades of my blue to make all these leaves in this tree different colors. So that was a bit fussy, changing up colors and trying to figure out which leaves to change colors so I wouldn't end up with too many dark spots in one area and light spots in another, etc. So I stitched the dragonfly, I finished up the town on this page, and I stitched this little bird in a cage. And then I knew I was going to stitch these, but I had to figure out how I was going to change up from the negative area to what was normally stitched. So in the chart, there's one more of these lines, or it looks like one more of these lines, as this section becomes the negative space that you're stitching. So it looks a little empty right now. What I'm going to do is, once I stitch this next page, which I'll work on next year, and I stitch more of this dark motif, that's the square with the flowers and stuff around it. I'll see how that looks. I might try to fudge in another line or other little like dots like this to fill up the space. So the page is done for now. That doesn't mean I can't come back and add more to it later. And again, this is on 32. No, is this 32? Why can I never remember this one? 32 count Silvery Moon Lugana. And stitched using the unmarked floss bobbins from the elderly stitcher that I bought a few years ago. So 3 colors of blue on like an ice blue fabric. So that is the Templar Prophecy, goal complete on that one. And I finished that goal yesterday afternoon. So I was like, okay, what am I going to work on for just a little bit before my video today? And I still had this on the Q-snap. And so instead of taking this off and putting on Big Red Ship, I decided I'd just keep working on the Four Seasons Sal by Modern Folk Embroidery. Again, all I had left was the word winter and this Quaker motif at the bottom. So last night and this morning I have put in 640 stitches and I have winter done, the word winter done, and I have started on the Quaker motif down here. This is a 28 count Monaco that I dyed using royal blue. So those are the 3 pieces I worked on. My plans for this next week, probably finish up Four Seasons because it's on the Q-snap. Do my monthly rotation on Big Red Ship, but of course that's only going to get like 2 or 3 days. Do more on Kindred Spirits, and we'll see where that takes us. Now, other stitching content that I have for you. Black Friday weekend, I saw that Frame It Easy had a sale going on. I forgot what the discount was, but I decided to try them out. This is where you can get custom frames, pretty much you're mail ordering custom size frames. You tell them what kind of frames you want, what the dimensions are, and they'll send them to you. This is the same website that Anne of Fiber, Floss, and Fiction podcast, she recently framed her Winter Fairy by Joan Elliott using this company, and it turned out really well, so I decided to give them a try, especially since they had a sale. So I bought 4 frames for 3 stitched pieces and a print just to try them out. These are things that I've been wanting to get framed, so I'll show those to you now. The smallest is Hogwarts Travel Poster. This was my New Year start and finish last year. This is on 28 count Monaco, 2/110 stitch. It is not completely straight because tent stitch, even some full cross pieces that I've seen, full coverage, it warps the fabric. But I tried my damnedest to straighten it out. You can see Hogwarts School isn't quite straight down here, but I got the side straight, which I can't show you because of the glare. Just a matte metal, this is a metal frame. And what I discovered when I got these frames and I started mounting everything is that I had made mistakes with my measurements. I got confused with trying to add a fabric border, and then it said you have to add a 1/4 inch all the way around because of the lip inside the frame. So what's nice is they all came with foam core on the inside that was already cut to fit the inside of the frame. So I didn't have to cut any foam core. I just used the foam core that came in it, and I was able to stretch and pin my pieces around that foam core and slide them right into the frame. So I, like the day I got this, I was able to frame all 3 of these pieces. But my measurements weren't all correct. So you can see with this one, I didn't mean to have the fabric border on the sides, but it ended up that way. So that's entirely user error because I got my measurements wrong. So that is Hogwarts Travel Poster. This is by Country Magic Stitch on Etsy. If it's not listed in her shop, and if I can't, I'll either link this chart or link her shop below. You can always send her a message through Etsy to ask to buy this chart. Sometimes she doesn't have it listed. The next one, they don't come with glass cut, they come with acrylic. So that's why this is so reflective. That's acrylic in there, that's not glass. This one, I left the acrylic off because of the beads. This is the Friendship Compass by Glendon Place. This is a freebie in their Facebook group, and so I will link that Facebook group below. This was also finished from last year. This is the one where you choose your own colors and bead colors, with the only guidance that Cheryl provided, saying the darker the symbol, the darker the color should be. I apologize for the noise. We got some snow this weekend, and so they're plowing the sidewalks. It was a dusting. They didn't need plowed, but you can hear them going down the street. So this one, I got a rounded brushed metal frame. And again, I got the measurements right on this one, so I was very happy with that. And that'll stay right here in this guest room because it matches the quilt that's on the bed. Excuse me. And then the third piece is also finished from last year. This is the class schedule style by Armada Designs. And this is one that I heavily modified. I only stitched a few of the blocks as charted. Hold on just a second. I think my husband's home. I'm going to pause. Okay, I was right. He came home for lunch. Sometimes when he can, he does that. So he's grabbing a salad right now. So yes, this is the class schedule style by Armada Designs. I will also link that below if you want. But just keep in mind that many of these blocks I changed up myself. And I decided to get frames for these two pieces, these two Hogwarts pieces, because my oldest daughter, about 2 weeks ago, started watching the Harry Potter movies. And so I figured it was time to get these framed. And my measurement was fine on the width, but I have a little bit more on the height than I wanted, but it's pretty close. This one, again, was a bear to stretch over the foam core and try to keep everything straight, but I think I got it straighter than the Hogwarts travel poster. This is also 28 count Monaco that I dyed, and you can see I chose a wooden frame for this one. It doesn't exactly go with the piece, but it doesn't exactly clash either. So, and then the fourth piece that I got a frame for, I really messed up on the dimensions on this one. I don't know what I was thinking, but I back a couple years ago when I lived near Omaha in Nebraska, they have a summer arts festival every year where, artists and artisans can come and sell their wares. And I actually met Randall Spangler, and I bought 2 of his prints, one for me and one for my friend in Colorado. And the print that I bought is a weird size, and so I've just kind of been holding on to it and didn't have it framed. So I finally bought a frame for it, and because the dimensions were so off, what I did is I just put the piece on the acrylic and then the foam core behind it. So this is Home is Where the Magic Is by Randall Spangler. It's a signed print. There's no number on it. So I don't know if he numbers his prints, but so these 2 colors are on the print, and then there's a white around it, and then the rest of it is the foam core. So, and I just chose a black matte wooden frame for this one. So I'll be happy to get this one up on my wall. And when you buy from Frame It Easy, they send you all the hardware that you need. This came with the print. This is the story of the Draglings, so I just taped that to the back. The wooden frames have these kinds of fasteners to keep the foam core board in. And this one was on it. I had to unscrew it to actually get it off. But on the metal frames, I did not finish the back of them just because I didn't see a reason to. So the metal frames, you have to unscrew like the bottom, and then this whole bottom side comes out, and then you can slide out the foam core. And they send you the hardware in a bag, so you have to put this on yourself once you have put everything in the frame. So those are my finishes. I will definitely keep their business in mind if I need some more custom frames in the future. Now, the other stitching content that I have is after last week's video, a member of Full Coverage Fanatics contacted Anne and asked her if we could, or if she could upload what she had created. She had pretty much created an event, stitching around Iceland. This is from Freya. I'm not going to try to pronounce her last name, but she is from Iceland, but currently living somewhere else. And she took the time and figured out different cities to stop in around Iceland, took their distance, and then made 3 different tiers. So you have, like, it's per kilometer. If you multiply it by 10, that's your easy. If you multiply it by 100, that's your, or by, is it 20? I don't know. There's 3 different tiers. There's an easy, a hard, and a crazy. The crazy is very insane. I think it was 338,000 stitches. And again, that's full cross. So if you do 10, you have to double everything. So I was considering it because the distances are, all random. Figuring out how I was going to participate in the event. And the easy tier is something like 75 or 78,000. No, what is it? I can't remember. I think that's the tent stitch amount. Excuse me. It's like 30 something thousand is the easy for full cross. But then when you double it, it becomes 70 something. I have this totally wrong. Yeah. When you double it becomes 70 something. I'm figuring out my math in my head. So what I looked at is the 2 pieces that I have large goals on in Full Coverage Fanatics for next year that is less than the 21,000, the 21 and 21 that we're doing. So that event is on Oh Baby because it'll take me to a finish and almost complete the challenge, and then I have like 1,500 more 10 stitches to do on something else. I thought I was going to be able to do that 21 and 21 3 times because of the number of page goals I have on Friends Forever and Museum Shelf. They're like 4 or 5 pages on each is the goal for 2021, but it's not quite. They're both at like 38,000 stitches. So I did the math, and I can do working on those 2 pieces only to complete the easy route to stitch around Iceland, because of course for 10 stitching you have to double it. So the easy route, while it's only like 38,000 stitches, I have to double it. So I'm going to be doing that 38,000 on each of those 2 pieces to equal the 10 stitch amount for the easy route, if that makes sense. I'm sorry, I should have printed out the numbers so it would be less confusing. So that is my plan. Go check out the event. We have Anne created an event, and then she has there's a Google Map link so you can actually see the route, and the distances are actually, I believe, there's like a PDF. There's a JPEG. There's different ways you can view it because some people were having problems with some of the documents. So go check that out if you're interested for another way to motivate your stitching, your full coverage stitching in 2021. So I am going to go get Hopper. I'm going to raise you up, and we will talk about bird training. The only Air Force kind of update I have is that our jet is still in the UK. The parts were supposed to arrive yesterday. I haven't talked to my husband yet to see if they actually did arrive. So hopefully those guys come back this week. And then, of course, they'll probably have to go through quarantine again because they're coming from the other side of the pond. So let me go get Hopper. I'm going to pause. Okay, so I talked to my husband while I went and got Hopper, and the parts did get there. Maintenance has already fixed the jet. They're already on their way home. They took off early this morning, our time, which of course they're like 8 hours ahead of us, I think, 8 or 9. So by the time you see this video, they'll probably already be landed. They can make the whole distance without Tankard. So they'll be flying straight home because those maintainers want to be home for Christmas too. So that's good news on the jet. Now, with Hopper this past week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I have done 4 5-minute training sessions with him to try to get him more comfortable in this room. This originally was a light bar stand that I bought off Amazon. It was longer. My husband cut it for me. This is like if you go to concerts or if you're a photographer and you want to hang lights up really high, it extends really high. And so what we did is, and of course it's a tripod at the bottom. So we trimmed it, put the plastic ends back in, and then the holes that are still there at the bottom, put screws in to attach the perch from the bottom, so there's no hardware for Hopper to get to. And I like this as a training stand because there is it's small, he can't move anywhere off of it, and you know, it's heavy duty, he can't move it like how he flew off the scale last week. And there's no toys, nothing to distract him. And you see him holding his foot up, he's ready to train because, like I said, 4 5-minute training sessions over the last few days in here. Now he associates this room with, I do some tricks and I get some pieces of pecan or pecan if you like. So that's one of his favorite treats. So you are going to hear the clicker. If you can turn down your volume if you're on earphones. So like I said, the first thing you teach a bird is to touch the stick, you get a treat. And you do that if even like he knows this. You do this a few times. This is called warming up the bird, making sure he's ready to work. And the other thing is I put the stick down when I give him the treat because otherwise he's confused. If I try to give him a treat with the stick in my hand, he's like, okay, what do you want me to do? Should I take the stick, or should I touch the stick or take the treat? So you have to make it easy for them. And then the other thing we worked on is spinning. So again, only 4 training sessions. I was able to teach that to him. And first you take the stick, and I only made him turn halfway around and touch the stick, and he'd get a treat. And eventually we went all the way around. And now, let's see if he'll do it for me. The trick is to do it. He doesn't get a treat that time because he was mad. And you don't want to pair an emotion to the trick. So, the videos I've seen, they teach the spin. It's easier if you can do it over their head and have them like target the stick over the head. But Hopper doesn't like hands so much, so it was easier to do it from below. But as you can see, he can still get mad sometimes using hands. You gonna do it? Should we do it one more time with the stick? And what you can do is you shorten up the stick in your hand so it points up less. And he gets the treat. So now we'll see if he'll do it next time without the stick. So it's short little steps like this to learn to teach him tricks. And I say tricks because birds are self-serving creatures. They do, everything they do is for a reason to help themselves. They're very selfish. So they're not going to do it just because it's cool. There's got to be something in it for them. Come on. Should I hold the pecan? Come on. Come on. That wasn't the best, but he didn't try to bite me either. We'll try it one more time, and then I'll show you the other thing that I've been teaching him. And you have to wait for them to finish eating before you do the next trick. So that's why your treat pieces have to be really small. Come on. You see there was less growling that time, so that's better. And then the other thing, I told you that he used to play the foot game, where, and this is something that I started when we first got him because he doesn't like hands. And so I taught him, you know, if I hold my hand out and you touch my hand, I'm not touching him, he's touching me. Then we get excited, and that was enough of a reward for him to be excited. So it used to be like, foot, other one, yay! And you probably can't tell, but his eyes are changing size. That's excitement. So what I did is, now I'm trying to say foot and cue it with a hand motion, so that eventually I can stop saying the word and just use the hand motion, and he'll wave. So, foot. Good. So at first, it's just a slight foot movement, and as we keep working on it, he won't get the click in the treat until he raises his foot up higher and higher and higher, so it becomes more of a wave. The other thing I could do is, you know, birds sometimes naturally, you know, do this just like dogs do. So he'll try to scratch at his head like this. And if I can capture it and click when his foot is going up and he's doing this, then you can capture that wave. Foot. Good bird. So again, that was higher. He's trying harder to earn that treat. So that's how you shape the trick that you want. Yeah. We also worked on being able to pet you, huh? He doesn't want me to pet him right now. He wants to work for his treats. Foot. Oh, now you want me to pet you? And for birds, you really only foot. Nope. See? I should have caught that. Foot. I want a higher one, so I didn't reward it. Foot. Good bird. So that's what the bird training is like. And you have to have these training sessions too when they're hungry. It's currently lunchtime. He normally gets a pecan at lunch, so that's why he's working for it now, because he's actually hungry. Aren't you? Yeah? Are you a pretty bird? Yeah? Foot. He's like, I want you to pet me. Foot. No, you don't get it. Foot. There's nothing there. Foot. Good bird. Yeah. So that's what we've been working on. I can't promise you that he'll show up in every video, but there you go. That's an update on Hopper. Yeah? There you go. Oh, see? And they get to this point where they start offering the behavior because they want more. Foot. Good bird. Yeah. So now he likes this room. He thinks it's pretty cool. Anyways, I hope you guys have a good stitching week, and we'll see you later. Bye, guys.